She's also known, from what I understand, as being just about the most liberal person in the U.S. Senate.
Conservatives really have no idea how to attack Kamala Harris. Now, while the left and any objective observer has a lot to be critical of when it comes to Kamala's record, whether it's her record as a prosecutor or her wavering and never really supporting issues like Medicare for all, conservatives just don't know what the hell to do with this ticket. And I got so many examples here. So let me just start, of course, with the President Trump here, tweeting out after the announcement. Kamala Harris started strong in the Democratic primaries and finished weak, ultimately fleeing the race with almost zero support. That's the kind of opponent everyone dreams of. Okay, attacking her on her failure in the primary. I did this as well yesterday during my live stream. But ultimately, this is not a line you can really use in an election race. She's the VP now. What happened in the primary doesn't have any impact on voters now. So this is just Trump feeling better about himself and trying to prop himself up and acting like this is going to be, easy peasy for him. But this is where it starts to get crazy. So let me play this clip from yesterday. And you already see from this quote what this is going to be about. But check out Trump here.
Well, I like Vice President Mike Pence much better. He is solid as a rock. He's been a fantastic vice president. He's done everything you can do. He's respected by every religious group, whether it's evangelical, whether it's any other group. They respect Mike Pence. He's been a great vice president, and I will take him over Kamala and the horrible way she, again, treated Justice Kavanaugh. That was a horrible event. I thought it was terrible for her. I thought it was terrible for our nation. I thought she was the meanest, the most horrible, most disrespectful of anybody in the U.S. Senate. She's also known, from what I understand, as being just about the most liberal person in the U.S. Senate.
Okay, so he starts off first talking about how great Mike Pence is, while he's buying time to think about what he's going to say about Kamala Harris, and then attacks Kamala for being mean to Brett Kavanaugh, which really just tells people that Trump is aware that Kamala has the ability to truly take down and go after conservatives, and then claims that she is also known as being about the most liberal person in the Senate. First of all, the word liberal is way overused. I am on the left. I would not call myself a liberal. Liberal is not the right word. Liberal, sure, is people like Kamala Harris. But that isn't how he's using it here. He's using it as Kamala Harris is far left. If he's trying to say that, liberal's the wrong word. But I digress. This idea that Kamala is one of the most left-leaning people in the Senate is hilarious to anybody on the actual left that understands Kamala has not fought for the average person. Again, her record as a prosecutor, I don't want to go over all the stuff again as I went over yesterday, but she is not far left. But they continue down this path. Media Matters here on the story. Laura Ingram says Biden-Harris ticket is too left-wing for Reverend Wright. These are the same attack lines they've been trying to use on Joe Biden for months, and all that's been happening is Joe Biden's been increasing his lead. Another one here. Fox News. Trump thrilled Joe Biden picked extreme San Francisco liberal Kamala Harris as VP. Sourcing Ronna McDaniel here. She has lurched so far left, the RNC chairwoman says. Let's for a second say that's true. Let's pretend Kamala Harris is, a Democratic socialist along with Bernie Sanders, has a perfect record in that sense, has fought for people, is not met with Hillary's donors in the Hamptons, which happened in 2017 before she ran. Let's pretend Kamala Harris is far left. That would only help the ticket. Both Democrats and Republicans disregard how popular left-wing positions are. You look at recent polling on Medicare for all, 69% of American voters, not Democrats, overall, voters, 69% support Medicare for all. Do you realize that most of what the government does not have a majority of support? Yet here, Medicare for all, which isn't even being discussed by the Democratic Party, let alone by, all parties. Medicare for all, incredibly popular, not being discussed, not being brought up here. And this is just, these people live in another reality, much like Democrats. I mean, Democrats are more aware that these things are popular, but the Democratic Party has to answer to their donors, their special interests, the consultant class. But Republicans, by attacking Biden and Kamala Harris as far left, it's not going to hurt them, because the people that are not going to back a Joe Biden ticket, the people that are going to vote for Donald Trump, that's the only crowd this appeals to. People that are already going to back Donald Trump think, oh, so far left, yeah, Trump, we're with you. It's not going to convince anybody else. Nobody is buying into this BS, but they continue to do it. And then you got this. Records show that Trump donated to Kamala Harris's campaign twice while he was a private citizen. So, which is it? If Kamala Harris is so far left, then why did Donald Trump donate to her campaign? Trump contributed $6,000 to Kamala Harris when she was running to be California's Attorney General, and Trump donated $5,000 to Harris's campaign in 2011 and $1,000 to her campaign in 2013. He made both donations when he was a private citizen. He's donated to Kamala Harris 3 times. So, how are they going to continue describing Kamala Harris as far left when Donald Trump gave to her campaign? This is a line that she could easily pull out in a debate with Mike Pence. Mike Pence can, bring up, oh, Kamala Harris, she is so far left. They're being dictated by the Bernie Sanders and the AOCs in the party. And, Democrats, even though they should embrace that, they're going to be defensive. But Harris could just point out, hey, if I'm so far left, well, then why did Donald Trump donate to my campaign? Why was Donald Trump one of my supporters? And look, honestly, you could use this both ways. You could also attack Kamala Harris by saying, look, Kamala Harris is so potentially destructive that Donald Trump thought Kamala Harris was a person worth giving money to. But the reality is, I think this is more useful for the Democratic Party to use against Trump, as Trump continues trying to lob these attacks on Kamala Harris being far left, and they could just point out, well, then why'd you give to me 3 times? Now, here's another. This continues. So DJ Judd here tweets out about a Trump campaign call with senior advisor Katrina Pearson and Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Now, while Blackburn hit Kamala Harris as, quote, not going to be tough on the hardened criminals, Pearson hit Harris for being too aggressive as a prosecutor, telling reporters her record as California AG is also abysmal. As an African-American woman, we welcome Kamala Harris to the race. So in the same campaign call with reporters, they claim Kamala Harris is both too far left and also too far right, as she damaged the African-American community. You got to pick a side here, or else your entire argument falls apart. But here, this is the perfect example of them just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Now, there's also, of course, this aspect of it as well. Mark Levin kicks off his show by ranting unprompted about Kamala Harris's ethnicity. So I watched the clip. I'm not going to play it, but it's Mark Levin discussing how Kamala Harris isn't really African American. Okay, who cares? This is like, why are conservatives so all of a sudden obsessed with identity politics? Okay, keep using this attack line. See if that works. Then you get to this. So Tucker Carlson. Let me just show you this clip, and we're going to laugh together.
So how could Joe Biden pick a running mate who once publicly denounced him as a racist? You remember the moment. It was at a debate last summer.
I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist.
Okay, look, I could play the rest of that clip, but I played it yesterday discussing when Kamala Harris went after Joe Biden in that debate. But the fact that Tucker Carlson starts, I mean, it's laid out perfectly here. Kamala Harris called Joe Biden a racist. The clip starts, Kamala Harris to Joe Biden, you're not a racist. They fumble over their own arguments. They have nothing to work with. And one of the benefits that this campaign, that the Biden campaign has with picking Kamala Harris, I discussed this yesterday, she's already been publicly vetted. Her history as a prosecutor, all the terrible things she did do, has already been discussed. It was discussed during the primary. And moments like this were on national television. We all saw it already. This isn't new. So when it comes to attempting to attack a VP in this way, what normally hits is new information. Any new information that comes out, that's what the media tends to, jump all over. But with Kamala Harris, there's not going to be anything new. People dug into her record when she was running for president, running in the primary. Everything's already out there. These moments of her attacking Joe Biden, we already know about this. It isn't new. So this kind of stuff, again, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stick because it's all old news. So then they get to this, the pronunciation of Kamala Harris's name. This is where Tucker Carlson really freaks out.
Tucker, can I just say one quick thing, because this is something that will serve you and your fellow hosts on Fox. Her name is pronounced comma, like the punctuation mark la, Kamala. Okay? Seriously, I've heard every sort of bastardization
so
of
what?
that. That's how it is, Kamala.
Okay.
Well,
but
I think it's out of respect for somebody who's going to be on the national ticket. Pronouncing her name right is actually not, it's kind of a
So
bare
I'm
minimum.
disrespecting her by mispronouncing her name unintentionally. So it begins. You're not allowed to criticize Kamala Harris or whatever because Kamala Harris.
Whatever.
Okay, look, I unintentionally mispronounced her name, but I love the idea that she's immune from criticism. So let me restate my question, because on this show, nobody in power is immune from criticism. Our political leaders must be held to account. That's our job.
So Tucker Carlson flips out over being told about the correct pronunciation of Kamala Harris's name. And then he creates a straw man about how that doesn't mean Kamala Harris is immune from criticism. Who said that? Of course you can criticize people in power. You should. That's the job of reporters. But the ego on Tucker Carlson does not allow him to just accept that he was saying the name wrong. Apologize, don't apologize, whatever. Just, okay, correct yourself. Okay, it's Kamala Harris. Now answer my question, whatever my question was. But he has to freak out and create some straw man about how she's immune from criticism, even though most of the actual accurate criticism of Kamala Harris is coming from the left. Now, they go to this. I just don't even. Fox News guest accuses Biden of enforcing Sharia law. This is where it's gotten. This is where it's gotten to. They got nothing to work with. So they move on from Kamala Harris, and now Joe Biden's wants to enforce Sharia law. Okay, again, keep trying. I'm not really sure any of these attacks are going to be successful. Now, this is the one where it would have some potential to be successful if they hadn't alienated their own voting base so much that the only people that still support Trump and Republicans are extreme right-wingers that even listen or read these emails. So Dave Weigel tweets out here, an RNC email tonight titled "Liberals Revolt Against Biden-Harris Ticket" quotes the following people: Bree Joy, Kyle Klinsky, Jordan Sheridan, Walker Bregman, and Michael Tracy. No offense to anyone on that list, but it's not a cross-section of wavering Dem voters. So this is the only course of action that Republicans have, is to try and suppress the left-wing vote by pointing out Kamala Harris's record. The problem that the RNC has is that their audience is not left-wing voters. So they can try this. It's not really going to do much. And as I've said, look, for me, I've said it a million times, so I don't want to talk your ear off if you've heard this a million times. I know, but some people, most people don't watch every video. I view this election as the person you want to vote against. Not even the lesser of two evils. Throw that argument out the window. Both candidates are horrible. Who would you rather fight as a movement? Would you rather fight Donald Trump or would you rather fight Joe Biden? I'd rather fight Joe Biden. Donald Trump is causing us to refight a lot of fights we already won. Issues like him tearing up the Iran deal, him restarting DAPL after Obama ended it, the Paris Climate Accord. So, and which of course, yes, didn't go far enough, but still, Biden's going to sign that again and act like that's enough. So having to restart these fights or having to rehash these fights that already happened, it's wasting a lot of time. So I rather fight Joe Biden. The Democratic Party is incredibly weak. This ticket is weak. You don't have, neither politician on this ticket is able to give people the feeling that something's being done the way that Obama did with his grandiose speeches. Biden doesn't have that talent. Kamala can be good in moments with prepared remarks, be it in debates with Joe Biden, but see how she completely disappeared the rest of the other debates, or that moment with Brett Kavanaugh. But otherwise, Kamala Harris, her political talents are propped up in a way by liberals that just do not accurately represent what they actually are. Kamala Harris is not all that talented as a politician. She has moments, but she's not Barack Obama, that's for sure. So I much rather fight that weak White House, that weak administration, that weak party, because the majority of voters are with the left when it comes to the big issues like Medicare for all, like ending the wars, like raising taxes on the wealthiest. You can build a real movement under a Biden administration when people realize that, hey, why aren't Democrats doing more? Trump's no longer the excuse. Trump's out of the way. Why aren't Democrats doing more? I still don't have health care. I, lost my home during the eviction crisis. I still am not being paid a living wage. So people that weren't already asking questions before the pandemic are going to be asking a lot of questions of the Democratic Party, assuming Trump loses and Biden's in. So I'm actually, I'm pretty optimistic about where that discussion will go if Joe Biden wins. And clearly the Republican Party just has no idea what to do with this ticket.